All right, guys. It is Saturday morning, Saturday date morning, but I am dateless this morning. So I figured I'd still do our live and share some things that I covered in my Saturday morning date by myself. So we'll jump right in. We're live streaming across every channel. So Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and if you're a business owner or you know a business owner that would find these things relevant, make sure to share this with them. I'm not selling anything. All I'm doing is sharing my experience, my failures, what's worked and what hasn't worked. And Chris isn't here today. So Chris is working on himself, doing some self reflection, and he decided to fly in to visit a family member to cover some things in his past that he's working through. So Libby's been flying solo for the last few days. For the first time, like ever, I was in my own house by myself. I travel a lot. So I'm by myself in a hotel, but my 16-year-old went and stayed the night with somebody. Yaya went to a Girl Scout event, and I was in my house by myself for the first time, probably in like a couple years. And this morning, I had my date morning with Chris over the phone for just a little bit, and he had to leave. But I did the rest of my walk that we typically do, an hour, by myself. So I wanted to talk about having a date with yourself and how important this is when it comes to anyone in life, but especially for entrepreneurs. When's the last time you had a date with yourself? I would love to hear in the chat, if this is you, have you had a date with yourself? Oh, I have to turn off my own volume. Sorry, I'm trying to watch the comments. But have a date with yourself. Schedule it. Do it. No music. No learning. No distraction with social media, and you're just with your own thoughts. So yesterday I put out a video about mental fitness, mental fit. Are you mentally fit? And in that I shared some tips on what can you do to see where you currently stand, and what are some self checks you can do to see your mental if you're mentally fit. And I think for entrepreneurs, this is probably one of the biggest things that we do not address. Why? Well, because I think no one can see it but us. Like, it's okay if we hide behind the issues, and no one can see it but us. And so we keep like suppressing it and pushing things down and not addressing them. I mean, for the longest time, when I first started business, I hid from my numbers. I didn't want to look at them. I was hoping that there was enough money in the bank account to just make sure everything was okay. But over the years and as the business grew, I knew that, and that was just because I hid from them from just lack of knowledge and being scared. Right. And that I quickly got over that if I wanted to, as we were growing and if I wanted to continue to grow. But I would love to hear from you guys on when's the last time you scheduled a date with yourself and what are some things that you can do? I don't know if any of you guys have read the 12-hour walk, the book. I have not done the 12-hour. I've done variations. I've done lengthy ones that were a few hours, 2 hours. I've done 4 hours. But I have not done the 12-hour walk, and that's actually on my agenda to do as soon as summer is over. But what the morning's date did for me and Chris gave us clarity as a couple, gave us clarity as a family. But I would love really for you guys to think about scheduling a date with yourself on a reoccurring occurrence or an event like the 12-hour walk. I saw the other day, Molly Moran, she did it. I think she said she did a 6-hour walk, and she's like, I learned all I needed to learn in 6 hours. It was good enough. She's like, I don't need the other 6 or I didn't need the 12. but she goes, "Oh my gosh, was that so impactful, so powerful." And I think as entrepreneurs, and especially as moms or parents, for all the guys out there as well, if you're parents, you are absolutely never alone. Never. And I think that this can be actually really unhealthy because as entrepreneurs, we have to really understand ourselves to be great leaders, to be great parents. We have to understand ourselves. But if ourselves are constantly bogged down in chaos and driving kids to school and making lunches and, you know, answering customer calls and dealing with call outs, employee issues, um, we can't be that great leader. It's just not going to happen. Every single mentor book, you name it, always says to take a step back and take time off to figure out, like, to fix those issues. And it's because of that mental fit, like, health check that you need to do. So we have a few listeners. I do not, unfortunately, have my phone. So I'm going to stop my phone and I want to check in to see if anybody's commenting. Are you guys listening? Does this resonate with you? Are you feeling one of the great ways to check in to see if you're feeling this way, honestly, is have you lost that excitement? Have you lost that spark for innovation? Is a great way to kind of check on your mental health when it comes to business. If you've lost that passion, that excitement, that want to grow, if you're not sparking 100 ideas a minute, it might be time to do a self check, to take some time off, maybe go take yourself to dinner. I think one of the best things that came out of my separation slash divorce from my ex was I had to get comfortable being by myself. I was so comfortable being by myself that I even went to a Dave Matthews concert by myself. And I caught so much crap for that. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you went." I'm like, "Well, I want to go." And it was like the greatest experience ever. So we have a few people listening. Samaria's here. Uh, let's see. Oh, thank you for sharing. Yes, Janella. Um, and it's one of those things where I think we need to take more time off. Yes, my relationship with Chris is great, and I love how close we are. But we also need to make sure that we're comfortable in our own skin. So again, some things to do to check. I'm going to make this one short because it's just me. Is book a date with yourself. Book a date morning or an evening. If your mornings are reserved for your date mornings and then we work out, me and Chris, then do something in the evening. Yesterday in the evening, I took a walk with the dog. It was great. So do something, book a date with yourself, do a check. Have you lost that spark, that love and passion for your business? Do you have apathy for your business right now? It could be that you're not mentally sound right now. And I'm not meaning you're insane, but we are kind of insane, or at least I am. But do a check before you break. Because if we don't stop to do these things, we will break. We will break down. I've done it. I've been there. Whether it was my ex relationship making me think I was literally clinically insane or struggling to grow my businesses at different phases, I broke because I didn't understand myself. I didn't understand certain challenges, and I didn't understand what was needed from me to be the type of owner that I needed to be to get the company to the next level. So again, have you lost the spark? Have you lost the love for your business? Do you currently have apathy? Is it like Sunday night and you're kind of like, "Oh shit. Oh God, I'm always going to get banned from Facebook because I cuss. Tomorrow's Monday. Like I don't want to go to work." Um, do you feel that way? And then the other thing you can do is do some self-reflection at the end of the night. Set an alarm on your phone to just go through the day, what you're thankful for, what you're grateful for, what were a couple wins, not to-dos. Don't do your to-do list. We're inundated with to-dos and questions and decisions. And I don't know about you guys, but for my entrepreneurs out there, if someone like, "What do you want for dinner?" I don't care. I haven't made 100 decisions today. Just feed me food. So Okay. Brooks is on here, says he needed to hear this. I'm going to do it today. Great. And if you're running multiple businesses for my serial entrepreneurs, this is so much more important. One of the biggest struggles that I faced about a year or two ago was trying to run Organize It and Woot Recruit. And now I have Service Cart and we're doing other things. And just the communication alone and software, just the software and communication was literally eating me alive from the inside out. Like I couldn't keep up. I didn't know like one company's on this platform and another one's on Slack and another one's on WhatsApp. And then like we use this CRM and that CRM and HubSpot and just the software alone, Brooks, consumed my entire existence until I could gain control, and we had to simplify and we had to cut back and we had to say, you know what, we're different companies, but for my own mental clarity and sanity, we need to start using some similar platforms because I couldn't handle the inundation of like just communicating with people and technology. So this really could vary if it's large companies could be going through the same thing, or if you own multiple verticals or ventures and you kind of have them separated. It's definitely something to look at, but I'm glad, Brooks, that you found this helpful. So going back to some things you can do, journal at the end of the night. I know that sounds like kind of wishy-washy, but it's great. If you're not a pen and paper person, just put the notes on your phone. Just use the phone notes. Don't go buy anything. Don't go buy an app. We have our phones. Use your phone notes. I've gotten to the point now where I record it on voice notes. I have really bad hands and I get tired of typing. But just do some self-reflection so that you can look at where you were at yesterday and where you're at today and be grateful for that. It's also going to give you some perspective of where you're at mentally when you sit down to write this. And then my last tip really is, and you guys are probably gonna get sick of hearing me saying this, is really dive into, I'm looking for the book. I don't see it. Really dive into, there's a book. I'm trying to find it. I should be well, I guess I don't have it. Oh, I found it. Dive into this process. I can't talk enough about this process. This is a book that my amazing ex-COO, he's a fractional COO, Jim, recommended to me about a year and a half ago. And I will say this book changed my life. It's a very easy read. It's a Cameron Herold book. If you don't know who Cameron Herold is, he's an awesome guy. He's in one of my peer groups as a teacher. He's in there every now and then. Super easy read. But how many times do we read a book and we don't do it? We don't follow through. We just read it. We consumed the knowledge, but it made us smarter, but it didn't create any power or movement in our life. I was so desperate when Jim recommended this book to me, and Jim saw the desperation in my eyes and my voice. And this is one book that I took. I left for 4 weeks and pretty much no one heard from me for those 4 weeks. I read it. I watched every YouTube video Cameron Herold had about this. I researched it online and I followed every instruction on this book or in this book until I finished it. And it was one of the most powerful transformational processes that I have went through personally and professionally. Why? Because it's called The Vivid Vision. How many of us have mentors or read books that says, oh, your mission and your vision, your core values, mission, vision, core values. Like we all think that they're just a bunch of crap or words on paper. But in reality, it's because we haven't taken them seriously or taken the time to do them. But what I want to share with you guys is that process was what I needed to pull out of me mentally. This was all mental vision. Well, to pull out of me what I needed to have clarity, to be a great leader, to be a great boss. We've made vivid visions for myself personally. Me and Chris made one for our family. I have one for each company. And we share these with every single person. We share them with our hires. We share them with our vendors, we share them with our applicants. So it's a super powerful transformation if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling hopeless, if you're like feels like you're turning those wheels and you're not accomplishing your goals. I think Yaya thinks that she wants to be famous, she said. And so she could see herself in the camera. That's why she's like, peekaboo. So I really, really encourage, take a step back, book a date with yourself, take yourself out to dinner, or for a walk, no music, no distractions, no learning, no social media. Get some clarity of where you currently stand. I book clarity breaks in my schedule that way I can kind of, where am I currently at? What am I doing? How am I doing? And it really helps me like get through the next phase. Those clarity breaks gives me kind of that grounding I need. Because here's what's going to happen if you don't. So I have some listeners. Maria is on here. Hey, Maria, Gabby. Here's what's going to happen if you don't do this, guys. And I want to hear from you, our listeners. Are you currently in this, or have you been in this state? I just want you to put I in the comments. If you don't do this, you're going to turn into the horrible, condescending, micromanaging boss, leader, parent, mom that's just like snaps at everything. You're unhappy. You don't know why. Somebody says something to you and it just annoys the crap out of you. Or employees start to annoy you, but they didn't do anything. But then you start to like nitpick at what they're doing wrong, or you start looking for issues so that you can bitch about them. Because you have this like weird void or weird feeling, and you're just like unbalanced, and you're just that crappy business owner that you like always aspired not to be, right? And that's because you need to take a break. You need to do a self-check. You're mentally not fit at the moment. We need to just build that mental strength, that resilience. So I was asking them, because some people have joined, to put I in the chat if that sounded like you, right? You turn into that crappy boss that everybody hates. And that's because we need to take a break, step back. And once you do this exercise, this is so much deeper than like core values and mission. My vision for each company is about 18 pages long. It's beautiful. But every decision we make, every decision my office staff makes, every decision a technician makes, or every decision I make, they know it's because it's leading us to this. And everyone has a clear understanding, and especially me. Especially me. Or parents. Hey, Amanda. Yes. Or parents are listening. So if you're having that moment of like feeling like a crappy parent, a crappy boss, a crappy employee, or micromanaging, or you just wanting to nitpick so that you can complain, or you just don't, everyone is annoying you to no end. I asked you guys to put I in the chat. If you feel like you're turning into that boss, that person, it's because you need to take a clarity break. You need to take a step back and just do a self-check. I've been there. Sometimes I could feel myself slipping into this, and I keep my vision that I made on my computer. I have a vision board on my screensaver. You guys are gonna laugh at me. I have my affirmation posted on the computer in front of me so that I can keep clear direction of why I'm doing this, so that I can stay on track. We keep getting distracted by shiny objects, shiny things. We keep getting distracted by learning and like, oh, I don't want to implement this. I don't want to do this. Let me go dive into another book because the easy button might be in that book. But I'm here to tell you there's no easy button. It just takes a lot of work. It takes simple systems and repetition. But before we can do any of that, we need to do a step back, do a self-check, book a date with yourself, do some reflection, do some journaling, and dive into this Vivid Vision. You don't even have to buy the book. Cameron Herold had so much free content online that you don't even have to buy the book. You can just watch the YouTube videos. But I will leave you guys with this. Hopefully you're having a great Saturday morning. I had my, I just wanted to bring you guys our Saturday morning date lives, even though Chris couldn't be here. He'll be back tomorrow. So you'll see us next Saturday together. Hope you guys have a great weekend.